Welcome back to part 3. This is APAD at home. Usually APAD outdoors, but here we are, taking up the play corner, my son's Hamleys. The thing which strikes me most is our readiness. Our readiness as a nation. I'd say a good 90% of us aren't ready for what potentially could happen over the next coming months, maybe years. But at some point in our lifetime, I do believe that either in my lifetime or my son's lifetime, there is going to be a time where it's going to be classed as it's the worst, and it's going to maybe resemble the ends of the world wars. I hate for it to happen, but it scares me. But being prepared and being ready for any event is better than not being ready at all. So part 1 we looked at a Snugpak bug out EDC everyday carry bag. A small little bag which you can take anywhere with you, and you're always going to be ready. Say you're out and about and that's there with you. You're going up the woods for a couple of days or a week. We looked at my Bergen, what I packed there. But now it's more about, say that emergency alarm went off on your phone and then your phone line went dead. Say you hear on the news that a strike of missiles was heading our way. Say there's civil unrest. See, I believe we're inching towards that more. Civil unrest after the bank's crash. That is more the reality that I'm seeing at the moment with everything that's going on in the Middle East. Heaven forbid it happens, but if it happens, again, how prepared are we? See, my first step would be the alarms go off, there's going to be mass panic everywhere. So the first step for me would be to seal the windows shut. Not by boarding them up, but by simply putting plastic up around the windows. If there's explosions, it's not going to do anything. But if the explosions are far away and there's debris in the air, it's going to protect us as a family inside our home. I've got blackout curtains up, so no one's going to be seeing in. So with plastic sheeting and those blackout curtains, that's the first step. Having a bath bladder ready to be filled up. But if the grid's already gone down, the bath bladder's not going to do anything. So we rely on bottled water. Bottled water is something we converted to after quite a few occasions over the past couple of years. We've gone to pour a glass of water and it's been a brown sludge coming out the tap. That's how bad our water companies are. Let's face it. They're taking a profit but not putting money back into the infrastructure. It's been going on for years. Burst water pipes, they'll fix that cheaply. It happens again. Then we get the brown water again because they've gone and made another dodgy fix. Year upon year, it got to the point that I'm actually able to taste the chemicals within the water. The only thing we use water for now is washing up, brushing our teeth and showering. If we're having a drink, if we're cooking for the pets, everything is bottled water. So I've always got 2 litres of water per person and a week's worth. And that is considerably being rotated. Every time I buy a packet of water, for the one which was there already will be pulled to the front and the latest one is in the back. We've got a lot of bottled water in this house because we use it and because we're ready if we need that extra supply. If it comes to the case of having a bug out, what we're going to do? We're not just going to sit here. It's about having a plan in place and knowing where you're going. I know where I'm taking my family. I know where we're going. They don't know. I know. At some point, maybe we need to put a stringency and plan in place that everyone knows. Though I'm the driver. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm driving us. We've got supplies here. Also in the car, we've got the boot box. We've got the other grab box. That grab box, we grab that, throw that in the boot, and we're gone. But that's only until things start to calm down. There's no point it all starts kicking off. Everyone's going crazy, running around left, right, centre. It's not safe to step outside your house. So make sure you got a month's supply. Make sure you got a month's supply of your food that you're generally going to eat inside the house. That way you don't have to go out and join the madness. You can be safe, keep your family safe. Let's roll on to if we need to go. The grid's gone down. It's not safe to be in the flat anymore. We've been here for a couple of weeks to a month. It's time to go. We'll be heading out for sure. But what kit are we going to be taking? Well, that's within inside this box here and the grab box down there. To make life a little bit more comfortable for the family, water storage, showers, down in a brown box is a fold out toilet. Just those everyday luxuries to make their life a little bit easier. For me, I can rough it. I've got my Bergen, I've got my hammock, I can rough it. But for them, for my family, I want to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible in this unprecedented event which they did not expect to happen. We're ready for the worst case scenarios. I hate for it to happen, yes, any of us would. But if it was to happen, we're ready. So, not only have we got the everyday comforts, not only do we have the water, one thing you must make sure that every family member within that vehicle has is waterproofs, warm kit, water, food. Something that I'm going to touch on is shelter. Here I have the Pendulum by One Wind. It is designed as a hot tent for hammock camping, but the space inside is actually big enough to put a cot bed down and to have your roll mats down and to have enough room and to have a wood burner going. It's a hot tent. It's a robust little system which is lightweight. That is it. It's small, it's compact, and it's ideal for that bug out situation. Throw it in the car, out the way, out you go. It's something we don't necessarily think about, but it's something which is always good to have to hand. It's obviously this bag here. The brown bag is a log carrier. If you're going to be starting a fire, you don't want to be carrying a few little bits here and there. That log carrier can carry about 4 bags of logs. We've done it. But in the scenario outside, you're not going to be finding 4 bags of logs, are you? It just means that you can carry more logs than you would with your hands. I'm going to go through this boot box and then obviously my spares box. I'll give you some ideas of different things that you can potentially carry yourself. And I think now is the time to be thinking about getting your families ready, making that plan, having that bug out bag or that boot box or whatever it may be. Making sure your family are comfortable in the event of any of this happening. It's down to us to prepare because we don't know what's around the corner. Let's have a look in this first box here. See, I call this one my boot box because this stays in my boot all the time. Okay. Reason being, I've got things like the jet boil. The jet boil boils water really quickly. It says what it is. Wet wipes, my toilet are in. backups for keeping your brews hot. Say the vehicle's broken down. Oh, that's not good, is it? That is a Naco battery starter. It's also a torch. I've got a Makita battery USB charger because I've got lots of Makita batteries to utilise. That's a great bit of kit. I've got spare guide ropes for when I do need to deploy. Knives for cooking. Fuel for cooking. Fire starters. Water storage. Water bladders. What else in this? Aha. Any time from now that you go to a cafe and you see those little sachets, grab a load. Because you can make up a pretty good brew kit and spares kit, salt, pepper, sauces, whatever would make your family's life a little bit more comfortable if you're living out of the car, or you're bugging out to the mountains, or you're living up in the woods. Just those little luxuries which are a winner. As we can see, we got a good selection of different little items which will go a long way in that scenario where we've got to leave our home. Different items here which will make life that little bit more comfortable, that little bit more easier. You may have noticed that I've got 3 ways of cooking. If I'm not using a butane, then I've also got the gas. If I'm not using a butane or a gas, then I've got the wood. Having 3 means of cooking gives me peace of mind that we're always going to be able to make a meal. Another one is also I've got for methylated spirits for the Transia. Something that people don't really think about is making sure they got a pair of heavy duty scissors within their kits. Not only do I have these scissors here, because they come in handy, I've also got the material ones within inside the first aid kit. The first aid pouch, which is in the car. I've already spoken about a 1-ring pendulum. I've already spoken about warm kit, cooking, but what about water? Well, that's where the other box come in. So bear with me, I'm going to pack this up, lay out the other box, and then I'm going to show you the 2 boxes that I'll have in my boot of my car in a bug out situation, where that way I know that every aspect of ultimate survival for my family and as comfortable as possible is followed. Bear with me. So here we have it, that final box now empty. As I said, there's only 2 boxes that I carry in the boot of my car, and now you've seen the whole contents. Let me just go through some of these items here. Self-explanatory really, just a repeat of the items that I've already had, minus a few additional things. Additional things being is hot water bottle over here. Now, in the scenario where you've only got 2 litres of water, I wouldn't be using that because it's only, well, it holds 2 litres of water. But that's one of those luxury items where we could quite happily filter some water and then heat it up and use it in there, whether or not we come to water source. but that is far down the road. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I've got a spare hammock here. It's a tiny little hammock, something I can throw up between trees if we need to have a little break. Here I've got the Motorola walkie-talkies. These aren't any shortfall. These can be found on your Amazon, where we got ours from. A little bit pricey, but they do say they go up and over 10 kilometers, which would be ideal, because if we had to bug out to our bug out location, set up where the cache is, and say I needed to leave the family at all, I can leave one with them and I will have comms back to my family at all times. Something else that we need to put into consideration is that water. Water is key to life. We are water. So I have gone and got us the water to go bottles. These bottles are absolutely excellent. You can fill them up and drink straight from water source because of that filter on the end there. They say these water bottles, you can do about 1,000 litres. I haven't done that. I'll only do about 500, and then I'll change the filters. Per bottle I have 2 filters. Inside each bottle I have 1, so 3 filters in total. That's a lot of water that we can drink, if it comes to that point. Here I've got the FlexTail cartridges for the FlexTail lantern. I hardly ever use it, so they're going to last for a long time. Something we don't really think about, but it's something that I think is a bit of a luxury item. It's obviously these little dental sticks. Obviously dental care is something we need to still take into consideration. If you're away from the taps and you're away from the toothpaste, just these little tiny dental sticks, they take up no room whatsoever, and you can still give your teeth a bit of a clean. Something else in this little molly pouch is my micro silver compass. Good little compass that is. And then obviously here is I've got a micro little fishing kit. Don't know how successful I would be at catching a fish with that, but it's something to have in your kit, because it's better to have something and to try and utilise that and not have it and not be able to use it. Excuse the cat. Inside this dry bag I have about 100 pairs of hand warmers. Open up the packet, let the air get to them, they warm up, great bit of kit. In this one, more fire lighters plus fat wood, a notebook and pen. In this one I have some dry rations where you add the water, it's freeze dry food, that you add some water and that's it, you've got a meal. In front of me, 2 bags of 24-hour rations. Bear in mind that these are like 4,500 calories per bag, and we only probably do about 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. These will last us probably 2 days. We could make that push and then utilise other food sources. These antibacterial wipes plus some tape for if we're cutting wood, a waterproof foam case just in case we do need to use the dry bag and get across a water source, we can put our phones in that, and obviously spare butane, alcohol gel, jungle spray. Beforehand you did see the blue bag in front of the table. Inside that blue bag is 3 sleeping bags. Again, we've got sleeping pads for everyone, sleeping bags for everyone, wet kit, dry kit, warm kit, water, food. Provided you can tick off each one of them, then in that situation where you need to take a bug out box or grab a box or a bug out bag, provided you can do that for every family member, your chances of survival is a lot greater than not doing anything at all. We're seeing how hostile the world is at the moment. We even can get a sense of that out on the streets. You live around London or Greater London, all it takes is to walk down the road and you can feel the hostility in the air. You can feel it all around you. So at some point, something may happen, and it's better to be prepared than not. We saw it during COVID-19 where everyone panicked buy, and for some reason it was the toilet rolls that everyone bought. I'll never understand why. But I've given an example here of what you can have. From that part 1 video from Snugpak, it's scratching bag, to the grab bag, to the bug out box, to what we have here. I hope you've enjoyed this little snippet, this little video of different things that I've been thinking about to get my family prepared for any scenario. I've spoken about blinds full of windows. I've spoken about food and water. I've spoken about making sure that everybody is prepared and as best as they can be. Because when it does go, it's not going to be pretty. And I have every high hope that everyone that I know that watches this video, they'll be in a good position as well as myself. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you've got in your kits. If you've got anything different to me. If you think I should be adding something, let me know. All the best. Apad Outdoors. All the best.